YouTube? I'm back again with another episode of the Ricks Report. I am your host, Nick Ricks, and on today's episode, we will be talking about my preseason top 25. I made my preseason top 25 list I've been working on the past few days, and I'm finally ready to reveal it all to my subscribers. So here it is. Let's get into it. I won't talk about every single team on the top 25, but I will highlight a few teams that I think are really important for the season. So let's get ahead into it, and here is my preseason top 25. I will not be talking about every single team today because that'll make the video way too long. But I will be talking about Ohio State, TCU, Oregon, University of Arkansas, and LSU. So let's start with the defending national champions, Ohio State Buckeyes. So let's start with the Ohio State Buckeyes, the defending national champions. Ohio State will be returning most of their players from the championship team, which will be great for them this season. And they have 7 stars coming back on both sides of the ball, including star defensive lineman Joey Bosa and the explosive running back Ezekiel Elliott. With all his talent coming back, they could very well be headed to another national championship. But the only problem I could see with this team is the quarterback carousel, the quarterback issue. They went through 3 quarterbacks this past season. I mean, all of them played well, which is good, because all three quarterbacks are capable of leading the team to the college football playoffs. But the question is who? Do they keep the hot hand with Cardale Jones as a starter, who led them to a Big Ten championship game and the national championship game, and is undefeated in all of his starts? Or do they give the reins back over to JT Barrett, who broke the Big Ten record for most touchdowns responsible in a single season? Or will they hand it back over to the veteran, Braxton Miller, who brought the Buckeyes an Orange Bowl title just a few years ago? All this will be very interesting to see how it rolls out through the remaining of camp, but as we get much closer to the season, we'll obviously find out who the starter will be. And coming in at number 2 on my top 25 list is TCU. I really like this TCU team led by senior quarterback Trevon Boykin. Now, I think this team, in my opinion, should have been in the playoff last year because I really loved the way they were playing last year. They were playing just all out, and this was an explosive team. They could score at any time. Great defense as well. And I think they should have been in the playoff, but they got jumped by Ohio State, which was the eventual national champion. So, I mean, I guess they deserve that spot too. They were the national champs, so I mean, whatever. But anyway, back to TCU. Regardless, this team will definitely make a run for the title this season. They are a little on the offensive side of the ball with 10 returning starters, including wide receiver Josh Doxson, who led the team with over 1,000 receiving yards this past season. This offense should be even better than last year with all the talent coming back on this side of the ball. Now, even though half their defense is coming back, who's a key member on the defense, we lose Paul Dawson, hard-hitting, tough middle linebacker of the team, heart of the team, led the team in tackles last season, so that will be a big loss to replace him. Also, they have to replace some members of the secondary with cornerback Kevin White and safety Sam Carter. In a pass-happy conference like the Big 12, this secondary will definitely be a problem TCU will have to worry about when the season comes around. But regardless, I mean, I think this is a good team. I was really close to putting them at number 1, but I just couldn't put them at number 1 just because Ohio State has so much coming back. And they're the defending national champions, so I feel like they did deserve the number 1 spot. But TCU was a really close number 2. They could have been number 1, but I had to put Ohio State there. Now, coming in at number 9 on my preseason top 25 list is the Oregon Ducks. The Oregon Ducks will now be moving on without Marcus Mariota, former Heisman Trophy winning quarterback for the team. So now they'll be looking for a new quarterback to run that high-powered, fast-paced, up-tempo offense out there in UG. Now, the man who appears to be in the lead to have that new starting quarterback position is former backup to Marcus Mariota, Jeff Locke. However, he won't just be handed the starting position. He will have to battle other backups as well, and including the newest, hottest recruit out of FCS level, quarterback Vernon Adams from Eastern Washington University. Now, and even though he played at a smaller school, Vernon Adams was a really good quarterback. He threw for over 10,000 yards in his 3 seasons at the program, and he also led the team to an upset win over Oregon State in 2013. So this kid's no scrub. He can play. He's a dual-threat quarterback, and he will be a great replacement for Marcus Mariota if he does indeed win the starting job. Also, whoever ends up winning the starting job will still have a bunch of weapons. Well, not a bunch of weapons, but they'll still have some weapons to play around with. They have running back Royce Freeman, who now is a sophomore, and they'll also have wide receiver Braylon Addison coming back from injury. So that'll be very helpful for whoever wins that starting quarterback role. But now the reason why I barely have them in the top 10, some in future rankings you might see Oregon like top 5, closer to the top spot. The reason why I had them farther back was because, I mean, they lose Mariota, obviously. Marcus Mariota was Oregon, so you're losing him. That's the main part of your team. And also on the defensive side, you're losing cornerback Ifo Ekpe-Olumu, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, the best cornerback, in my opinion, one of the best cornerbacks in the country last year. I think it was the best cornerback in the country last year. before he had that knee injury, sadly, before the college football playoff game. So yeah, both of those players are huge losses because they were like the stars and leaders on both sides of the ball. Mariota on offense and Ifo on defense. So those will be two big replacements that they'll have to fill in this upcoming season. Now, next team I want to talk about on my top 25 list is the Arkansas Razorbacks. I have them at number 13 on my list, and all you probably like, how in the world is Arkansas number 13? They're garbage. Now, before you guys bash me on why I have Arkansas at number 13 on my list, let me give you some facts. Now, I know they had a 17-game losing streak last season, and they also had a 13-game SEC losing game streak. But they ended that streak against number 17 ranked LSU. They beat them at home. Great win, won the Golden Boot. Then the week after, they shut out the number 8 team in the country, Ole Miss, 30-0. Those two wins right there were key points in their season there where they just turned around and they had some momentum going, and they took that with them the rest of the season and into the bowl game where they just thrashed Texas in the bowl game, which, I mean, I don't think that's that impressive. I was expecting them to do that because, I mean, Texas isn't even that good anymore. But besides the fact, I digress. Anyway, also coming off that bowl against Texas, that'll provide some great momentum coming into this season. Also because they have 10 stars coming back on the offensive side of the ball, including star running backs Jonathan Williams and Alex Collins, who both had over 1,000 yards rushing last year. And they'll be led by senior quarterback Brandon Allen, who only threw 5 interceptions last year against 20 touchdowns. So that's a pretty good ratio. So with all that talent coming back on the offensive side of the ball, they will be a great team next year, I think. And I think, they will end the season. I'm going to go out and say this right now. They will end the season in the top 10 rankings. I will say that right now. But now the realistic factor comes in. They are still in the SEC West, so that's a really tough conference to play in. And they still have to play all those tough SEC West foes. And not only do they have to play them, they have to play them on the road this year. They play LSU on the road, Alabama, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, just to name a few. And how they do on SC play will be a really major important factor in this season. And also they have to play some key defensive stars like defensive lineman Trey Flowers and linebacker Martrell Spate. The rest of the defense is going to have to step up to help this team out this year if they want to finish even better than they did last year. Now, the last team I will be talking about on my top 25 list, coming in at number 19, is the LSU Tigers from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Now, to be honest, I didn't want to talk about this team that much because they've been having issues with, players getting in trouble and arrested and all that stuff. And also they have quarterback issues, which is just terrible for any team to have. So I want to leave them off the list, but I still kept on the list just because it's LSU. They're a top program every single year. So besides all the issues they've been having, they're still a really good team. Especially besides the quarterback issues, they have a lot of talent on offense, even though they have quarterback issues. They have sophomore sensation Leonard Fournette, who's also a Heisman candidate for this upcoming season. They also have a lot of young talent at receiver, such as Malachi Dupree, Travin Durrell, Trey Quinn, John Diarse, and to name a few. Plus, with all new recruits that are coming in, such as 4-star running back Darius Geis, he'll be a very good addition to this team as well. And on the defensive side of the ball, they have Kevin Tolliver, the number 2 cornerback in the nation this past season. So with all that addition, that will make them a really competitive team this year. Now, with all that talent on offense, you still need someone to run that offense. That person to run the offense is a quarterback. So they obviously have quarterback issues. So until they get that figured out, this team will not go anywhere. They won't go anywhere because if you don't have anyone to run the offense, you're not going to be able to get your star players the ball. Then you can only run the ball with Leonard Fournette so much, even though he's a really good running back. If your quarterbacks can't play as well, the defenses are just going to key in that, they're going to run the ball with Leonard Fournette. Key in on him, forcing LSU to throw, which is one of their weaknesses, even though they have offensive weapons on the outside. So with all that, taking that into effect, they have to figure out that quarterback issue if they want to have inning success at all this season. But LSU has had quarterback issues in the past, which is really bad considering such a great team they have. But the last good quarterback they had, in my opinion, was Zach Mettenberger. He's the best one I've seen in a long time at LSU. So once they get those quarterback issues figured out, I think they could have a pretty good shot this season. And then also another thing you have to take into effect is all the defensive stars leaving LSU once again to go to the NFL declaring early. So they'll have to replace the likings of cornerback Jalen Collins and linebacker Quan Alexander. But, I mean, they have some good replacements for them, such as safety Jamal Adams was a freshman last year. He started a lot of games last year, so he has some experience, and he'll be another great defensive back for that secondary. And then replacing the linebacker, Quan Alexander, his backup, Kendall Beckwith, was second in tackles on the team, so he was just right behind him. So they will have capable backups of filling those starting roles this season. But besides that, I mean, that's the only negative things I have to say about them. They just need to get those quarterback issues figured out, and the defense, seeing how that will affect all the players leaving, see if they'll still have a good, strong defense. Alright, and that is it for this episode. Thank you for watching my video again. I appreciate you all taking the time of the day to watch my video. Thank you very much for that. And I obviously didn't get to all the teams in my top 25 today because it would have made the video really long. So if there's a team you want me to talk about or have any questions about, just leave a comment in the comment section below and I'll give you my reasons why I placed them in that spot. And also about the lighting, some of you may have noticed in my video, this video took a lot longer than I thought it was going to take, so I had to spread it out over 2 days. So if you're wondering why it got lighter and darker, it's because I had to record videos on separate days. So sorry about that again, and once again, thank you for watching, and until next time, thanks for watching and see you later.